Hey everybody, it's Glenda here from Cynically Glenda. I want to talk to you about something that happened to me recently. I am quite involved in a couple of groups to do with a social media platform, and it deals chiefly in chat groups. And generally, as a rule, my experience has been pretty good. I also belong to other chat groups, and I've never had any problems with any of them. Anyway, just recently, I posted in one of the chat groups. It's a particular genre of chat group about the passing of a favourite character within this genre. Real human, lovely man, etc., etc. My first posting was to let everybody in the group know, because so many people had asked about him. It's to do with YouTube. Not a real celebrity, just someone who appeared on a couple of different channels. There was an announcement that he had passed, and I wanted to let everybody know within this group, because like I said, there had been some questions. And the second one I posted was actually the video where it was announced that he had passed, mostly because people were asking about it. And I noticed that there were certain members within this chat group that were going off topic as far as these two posts were concerned, and they were making it about someone else. And I got a little annoyed. Now, if they had gone off, made their own post, and said the very same thing that they said, I wouldn't have said boo. But it was the fact that these were on posts informing people within the group that this person had passed. And many people were offering condolences. So it was kind of a memorial post. Well, these two were memorial posts. So I got a little annoyed with some of what was going on and what was being said. And I spoke my mind in a third post. And I mentioned, because it was about this particular subject, I specified that if people wanted to make it about something else, or wanted more information than they had a right to, then by all means go make your own post, blah blah blah. But don't do it on the one where people are offering condolences. Of course, I was going to get some stick from it, but generally, as a rule, the majority of people agreed with what I had to say. Anyway, a little bit later on in the evening, I got a notification stating that there had been an answer to a question, or a comment I'd made in another group that was totally unrelated in every way, shape and form to A, the bereavement of this person, and B, the particular genre that these groups were a part of. And it was from some person that was calling me a virtue signaler because I was using that to dictate to people, how they should behave. But And I replied to it at first, and I went, hi, oh yeah, hello, whatever. But then I realised what this person was doing. They were rage baiting me. I checked out, as you do, this particular person because you can follow them back to their profiles, their accounts, whatever you want to call it. And I discovered that they belonged to another chat group that was in this genre. And long story short, this particular person had been involved in the original larger chat group as a moderator, as an admin, and I don't know the circumstances as to why this person was no longer part of the group. I also noticed on his group, and it was a guy, there were posts and they had targeted a lot of what I had posted out of the blue, and they were criticising everything that I was doing, trying to denigrate the death of this person, and that I was being disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, those particular posts, a couple of them, I ended up reporting to the social platform, and one of them was removed. And I explained in the little comment section that this person was using my posts and blowing them out of context, and this person was also stalking me. And I at first sort of kind of stood up to them. And the next thing I know, I went and warned the groups, that these other two groups that I was in, because I was seeing other things that had been copied and shared on this other group. So I warned everybody that we were being stalked, and the comments led to the fact that there were certain people who were also being targeted, just like myself. I think there were at least two people, and I didn't really take much notice of it at the time. There was also talk of a serial disliker coming into the group and disliking everything. And then the admins stepped forward and they commented on it. And I discovered that this guy had done this to all of them. And he just didn't let up. All of a sudden he was peering on a lot of different, and I made a joke that maybe we should go on to his group and just dislike everything. I said it as a joke, and I had there, ha ha ha, laughy faces, emojis. And I made it look like it was a joke. He took that out of context and then made another post on his page in regards to that particular thing, and talked about how it was against Reddit rules, etc., etc. But the funny thing was, he never reported it. And I started to notice that he was following me into other groups and making comments, and then 2 or 3 hours later he would delete them. So I spoke to admin and I started deleting all of my posts within these two groups, because to me he was targeting me. He had no reason to target me, because I hadn't done anything wrong. And I didn't want it to cause a problem within the group, which is just common sense, and it was respect for other people within the group. Eventually, and and the admin were supporting me all the way because they knew what this person was like. So anyway, I ended up deleting my account and I set up another one. And there was one fatal mistake that I made. I actually went into his group and I used his group as a way to build up my points so I could start posting in all sorts of different groups, the ones that I had been in before, including these ones that I had originally been in. Made a very fatal mistake. I put on a couple of comments, but along the lines of what was being said in the group, and he must have checked me out. Somehow he must have gotten hold of my email or something. And when I woke up this morning, I started deleting everything, etc., etc. And then when I woke up, I found all of these posts that came up in my notifications of things that he had been saying all over the place. I had put a post in this other group where I was asking a question. Again, totally nothing to do with the genre that we were both interested in. And it was just like every time someone made a comment and I either liked it or answered them, he had to say something. It was one after the other, after the other, after the other. He also, I made a comment on a post in his group, and the next thing I know, he knew who I was. But I was going to play dumb. But then I got a notification that I had been lifetime banned from the group, which meant that I couldn't answer him. Otherwise, I would have pretended that, what are you talking about? What does that mean? But anyway, the next day I just thought, oh, fuck it. I'll delete my that new profile, even though I'd more than qualified with, and I set up a new one. Only this time I used a different login method that had nothing to do with my email account or my Google account. And I haven't gone into his group other than to find out who the moderators are in that group, and I have blocked every single one of them and I have muted that group. I also realised that this particular person, my lovely stalker, has multiple accounts within this chat platform. And everything started to fall into place, that this particular person was coming into the group and under different guises, different profiles, making comments to piss people off. And then it started to click. I saw a comment within our groups where someone said that someone keeps downvoting my comments or making a smart-ass comment and then deleting it. So I'm keeping a low profile. I have rejoined these groups. I am not letting the admin know who I am. I'm just a new member of the group. I will sit back and I will get all my qualifications. And like I said, I have blocked and muted everything that this person is related to that I can find. And I'm using a different sign-in, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to take my time getting the qualifications to be able to make comment or post in different groups. And I was thinking today, this person had become relentless, and they were behaving like I was attacking them. But until he made a comment relating to this particular passing of someone on a totally unrelated forum. I wasn't aware of who he was. I didn't know that we had a problem within the group. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. But he targeted me. He targeted all the admin at some point in this group. And he goes to great lengths to annoy people. Admin warned me that he wants me to retaliate. He wants me to keep going. But I'm not going to. Because I'm fast realising that he has very good internet computer skills. And I'm going to try to avoid drawing attention to the group, to myself, because I just want to be left alone. I'm not afraid of him. I just feel sorry for him. I'm thinking, what happened to this person in his life that he feels the need to actively stalk and pursue people and be really rude and abusive and troll-like? I mean, he's just an internet bully. But at the same time, and I've checked all my social media accounts, there are no addresses, there is nothing personal. They don't have photos of me, they're not available. I have, for example, my Facebook account is completely locked down. I have an Instagram account that is not even in my name. It's not related to me in any way, shape or form. I'm not on TikTok. I am on YouTube, but I've got two accounts. And none of them are related to me, if you know what I mean. So hopefully I don't wake up tomorrow with more abusive messages. Like I said, I'm going to lay low. I've rejoined those two groups, but as a member, I can only like posts. I'm not posting. I'm not commenting. I have posted in other groups to build up my qualifications. And anybody who knows this social media platform will probably know what I'm talking about. I really do feel sorry for him. And if I knew it would make a difference, I would talk to him and say to him, look, you know, why are you doing this? What makes it okay with you to approach total strangers who you don't know and take their comments and their posts out of context and then try to malign them and defame them and make them look bad? I don't understand it. I really, really don't. And he's really got a bee in his bonnet about these particular groups. He even mentions another platform, a chat forum platform, that is incredibly toxic. And it is probably one of the worst. It's recently been in the news. Well, not recently, but over the last few years it's been in the news because it's basically ruining people's careers because they're defaming people. So, but like I said, I just want him to leave me alone. I have nothing to fear because my age, I'm 64 years old. Who knows how much longer I'm going to live? And if he wants to find me, he'll be able to find me. And if he wants to do something nasty to me, then hey, I can't stop him. So yeah, I suppose my point is that unfortunately, when you are on social media, you're going to come across this kind of thing. I've had issues with people being verbally abusive, and I've had issues with people stalking me. One in particular who I knew and who was sort of indirectly part of my inner circle. And I could understand why this person was doing the stalking thing. Unfortunately, we live in a world where this is what people do. We are so heavily caught up in the social media world that we can't differentiate between reality and social media. And a lot of what's on social media is not real. It's curated, it's choreographed, it's photoshopped, it's carefully manipulated. And you can see it with a lot of other situations, but I won't go into them. So if you find yourself the target of a bully on social media, try and stand up for yourself. But if they become more relentless after that, go through the normal channels and report them. Chances are nothing will be done about it, but report them and drop out of their radar. Even if it means changing all of your accounts and all of your passwords, just protect yourself. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. And I don't know this bloke from Adam. The things I do know, I've discovered after the fact. I've not said or done anything within that chat group that could possibly have pissed him off in any way, other than it was pointed out that I tend to be quite truthful in what I post. I don't post anything unless I can back it with fact. And I'm honest. And in this person's case, truth hurts. And that's fine. So yeah, protect yourselves. Look after yourselves. And nobody deserves to be treated like that. And I know I've been the target of bullies for a good number of years. Especially when I was a teenager and when I was young. Because red hair, freckles. And then when I was 13, I got glasses. So that made it even worse. So yeah. That's my story of being internet bullied. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Bye.